If I had to pick one part on a compound bow setup that would be considered underrated or, vastly misunderstood, I would definitely have to pick the wrist sling, and for good reason. It doesn't seem like something that would be very important, and honestly, it is not crucial in any way to a compound bow setup or for the firing process of said compound bow. But they do a few things that can be very helpful. The big one, the most important one, is they tether you to your bow. So I can tell you I have on more than one occasion talked to a customer who had, just for whatever reason in his tree stand, the bow slipped out of his grip and it fell to the ground and exploded. Wrist slings they act as kind of a seatbelt, so to speak. So by putting it on your bow and putting your arm through it, if you drop the bow, it's going to not be a big deal because your wrist sling is going to save it. So that's their primary purpose. But they also, they do a couple other things that, don't really stand out as much. One big one, cosmetics. Like if you're going for a color scheme, like I always go for a black and red scheme on my compound bows, always have. So I can do a black and red sling. We actually customize slings with paracord up to 4 colors. So I can do any color that I can dream up. And as you see here, I brought one example of black, pink, and purple, just whatever you can think of. Wrist slings also always come with grommets. They'll be rubber, they'll be leather. There's tons of different ones out there. These go in between, and I'll show you how to install it in just a second, but these goes in between your stabilizer and your riser. So it being there kind of gives your stabilizer a bit of a pad, and it can help cut down on vibrations, and it kind of acts as a shock absorber. I've actually seen a bow that came through here once a good little while back, but there was noise. There was rattles and noises, and it took us a second to figure it out, but just because the stabilizer was rattling free without a grommet, that's where the noise was coming from. We put one on it and good to go. I actually brought a bow with me here. I want to show you how these work. Okay, I'll just go with this one. Most grommets have a dull side and a bright side. I always try to face the bright side outward, so it'll always come towards me, away from me, and then you just bend it around, back through, and then you pull tight. And then this is where your stabilizer goes, and this will go in between. Now, putting it up or down really kind of depends. I always put it like this unless I'm dealing with a bow with a longer brace height or something, because if you flip it this way, it'll actually give you a little bit more length with your wrist sling. But on regular bows, just doing it this way sort of, it works out. You don't want your wrist sling to be too long or anything like that. But you grab your stabilizer, and that grommet goes, like I said, right in between the stabilizer and the riser. And now you can probably get an idea of what I meant when I was saying it can help cut down on vibrations, because if that grommet's not there and this stabilizer gets loose at all, it will rattle. It'll just snug right up. It actually lets you make the stabilizer a little snug because you don't have to worry about digging it into the stabilizer. So this goes above the string stop there, onto the other side, where we do the same thing. We're going to go away from, back towards, make it as long as you like, back up, and then we pull tight. Alright, and then we have officially installed a wrist sling on our bow. So, what I was talking about as far as it tethering you, say you're shooting with an open grip and the bow slips. No big deal. You are tethered to the bow. See? Not going nowhere. It doesn't seem like much until you accidentally drop it out of a tree stand. Then you would really wish one was there. So, small things, but little things go a long way sometimes, and that's what a wrist sling does. A part that I really never would have thought twice about first getting into it, but over the years I've seen more than a few instances of where a wrist sling could have saved the day. So that's how they work. They also serve, like I said, as a way of customizing, but that's the wrist sling, and that's what it does. Just in case anybody was wondering, figured I'd share that with you. Thanks for watching.